tuning into this episode of Conversations with Chan. Today I have with me Angel Pretot. Did I? He is a French learning coach and an online entrepreneur. So, Angel, please tell the audience who you are and what you do.
Yeah, so like you said, my name is Angel Pretot. That's a very French name. I'm originally from France, but now I live in Austria. I've been living in German-speaking countries for 10 years, which means I'm an expat. And 5 years ago, I created my online business. What I really love to do, I'm a French teacher by training. And what I really love to do is coaching. So when I discovered that the whole field of coaching, I figured that there was something to do with French learning or language learning in general, but French is my language, obviously. And I love to work with English speakers because, as you can hear, my English is quite good. My German is okay. So I'd rather work with English speakers. And I have noticed that generally it's very hard for English speakers to learn French because they don't get so much language learning training in school. Most schools in English-speaking countries just don't care. It's not something important. But I have noticed that many English speakers are actually very interested in learning a language, sometimes in quote unquote later years, meaning when you're an adult. And many people have the belief that if you're an adult, it's too late, which it is not. And my job is really to reverse that and show people that they can actually learn, but they just need good methods. So that's what I do. That's what my online business is about. And I work with English speakers from all over the world. I have people in Australia, UK, US mostly because sheer numbers, right? Canada, yeah, and France.
I must say, I'm from the South. And so learning learning a different language when you already speak two languages, because there's English and there's Southern English. So
yeah, I see what you mean.
So I actually went to speech class when I moved up north because my Southern accent was heavy. It was a strong Southern drawl, and my aunt was like, "Oh no," because people automatically assume I wasn't as smart as I was, or they had to dumb things down and they had to speak to me, and not knowing that I skipped multiple grades and that I was very, very, and so she said it's my accent, my drawl that gave the impression. But
yeah, it's accent discrimination, basically. Yeah. You'll be happy to learn it also exists in France. In between French natives. So yeah, it's a thing all over the world, I guess.
Yeah, because it's one of those things, because a lot of people, I know that I worked with someone from France, and I had put her out of my mind because she was she was not a nice person, but I learned a lot, in understanding, how her accent, it was embedded in when she spoke English. It made it sound so, even when she was saying something, that telling somebody off, it was so nice.
I'll take that as a compliment.
It is a compliment. Because people didn't even realize they were being told off, and she was just, and it's something about being able to speak a second or third language that keeps your mind to always working.
Yes.
It keeps your mind going. It keeps your mind expanding, and you're forever learning. So, what would you say to someone who says, "I don't think I could ever learn another language. I'm 45 years old. I would never learn to speak another language"?
The oldest person I worked with successfully was over 80. Oh. What else can I say? I do have several clients who are over 60. There's no age really for that. If you would have a really bad brain damage or a really bad degenerative brain disease, maybe that would hinder you, probably. But I would say at this kind of point, you would have bigger problems to deal with. If you're 45, now come on, like most of my clients are older than you.
So that's what I was, so this is a great thing. What would you say, from what your clients, what would you say that they had the biggest hurdle when learning French?
So it's always a bit of a tricky question because I can think top of my mind really fast of lots of hurdles, but the biggest thing for me is the mindset. And that's also one of the main reasons why I'm a coach, not just a teacher, because teachers just never address the mindset. And the mindset is the biggest thing. Like if someone tells me I'm 45 years old, I'm too old, I can't learn the French language. If I cannot successfully make this person change their mind, there's nothing else I can do. It's fundamentally wrong, but you know what I think it's Ford who said that, whether you think you can or you think you can't, either way you're right. And lots of people have very big limiting beliefs. Like I have people who have told me that they can never be fluent for no reason. It's just they have this belief in them, or they're too old, or native English speakers just have like French deficiency. You know, you're human like the rest of us. It's not like you're not doomed because you're an English native. You're a bit handicapped by the fact that your government or your schools have not cared about giving you a second language earlier. But I promise you, I mean, in France, there are tons of people who can't speak English, and they're just like you, basically. It's nothing special about English speakers other than not having the right methods early on. And to be honest, I mean, language schools are pretty bad in France and in Europe in general as well. Of course, in the US, it's worse. Like, I'm not gonna say it's not.
You see, I'm not disagreeing with you, because I do think introducing, like, my son, his nanny, introduced him to French and, what it's called, Iba, at an early age. So he was talking to me, and I'm like, listen, what is he saying? Because you gotta tell me what, because those were his. So it was one of those things. It's like, I don't know what he's saying, and it felt like, it was kind of awkward, but I was smiling because it's like my baby could speak. It was one of those things that, like, you want them to learn early. You want them to kind of have a base that's sound when they're learning, because he ended up picking up things so much faster.
Yeah, it's also a big limiting belief that children pick up things much faster. I have found this not to be true at all. If as an adult you have methods that do work, you actually have a lot of capacity to pick up things a lot faster as an adult, be it just because you have a language already.
Yep.
Children who learn their first language, it takes them a good 7 years to build their first language. But if you already have one, it's easier to build the second one. And you can read and you can take notes, which children can't do. And the only reason really why we have this persistent belief that children somehow pick it up faster is because children do not have the limiting belief that they can't do it, do not really care about their results, and they're just really playful about it. And if you put 3 children with 3 different languages in a sandbox, at the end of the afternoon, they'll have exchanged their languages, like the words that are useful. It's because they all do it for fun. And
they don't understand the concept that this is education. Yeah. Like, they don't.
It is.
Yes. And that's one of the things I love about it. And like, even now, I had to learn Portuguese, and as soon as I stopped using it, it was gone.
Also a big limiting belief.
No, so
I know why you would have this impression. So it's not gone, but what happens is that your brain is very, very flexible, and it will deal with the language that's in your environment. As soon as a language is not in your environment anymore, it will be like, oh, okay, I guess this is not useful anymore. I'll just put it in the back and somehow deactivate, not somehow, like completely deactivate or weaken those neural pathways. It will be very difficult to access the knowledge that you had before. And actually, I also learned Portuguese. And if you would ask me to strike a conversation in Portuguese right now, I probably couldn't. Okay. But I know I would be able to refresh it really rapidly because I also know how to do it. None of the things that you've learned is lost. And I see lots of people who come to me when they're 40, 50, 60. They're like, I learned French when I was, in college or whatever. You haven't really lost anything, to be honest. And it's fascinating when I work one-on-one with a client who has, quote unquote, forgotten everything, lost everything, because they start, like, we work, 2-3 weeks together, or even 2 weeks, and they start saying things in French, and they're like, I don't know where that came from. Like, I know you learned French when you were younger and you still have it. And like, oh, I guess you're right, because you haven't taught that to me. No, I haven't. Like, I'm not going to take credit for the things that you learned before. It got reactivated.
So, okay, so I need to get out that mindset. You're right. Mindset is key. I need to get out of that mindset thinking that everything that I've learned is gone. I just
Mhm.
have to, use it more, use things that
Yeah.
will trigger me to bring it out of the vault in my head. Okay. See,
Start listening to a podcast or something like that, once in a while. Even if you feel that you don't understand anything at the beginning, first you'll start understanding a lot better quite rapidly. And it doesn't really matter how much you understand it just will reactivate your brain and you see it come back really fast.
see, you know what? This is why you're a coach and a teacher, because it's coaching is an amazing skill that everyone has, and you coached me, and it didn't feel like I was being coached. So you
I
have got
can't
it
stop
down
it.
to the science.
It switches itself on. I couldn't avoid it if I wanted to.
You can't do that, can you? Because it's just in you. It's innately in you too. Like it's
Yeah,
something.
sometimes I'm annoying with that. Like I meet with people in a relaxed setting and I'm like, okay, don't coach them. They don't want to be coached.
And then you coach, but it's one of the. But
Like I have to
that's
hold myself back, like just zip it.
so that's a good thing. But the thing is, I would rather go to have a coach that it's in their DNA to be a
Mhm.
coach than to go to a coach that studied to be a coach.
I don't
That's
see why someone would study to be a coach if it's not in them. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't happen, it might, but I don't see why they would do it. It doesn't make sense to
well,
me.
there is a phenomenon called, everybody's a coach now. I've heard so many different variable coaches, synergy coach, meditation, like all of these. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
did y'all just get a pair of dice, roll it, and then whatever the words came up, you just added coach on the end of it? But there's, it's something
Yeah.
it's in you already,
Mm-hmm.
and I say that I say that it's in your DNA to coach, because you
I
literally
think so.
just
Yeah.
coached me and I didn't feel coached, and I like that. That's the flow of,
Mm-hmm.
if I want to learn something, that's how I would like to feel, and I'm pretty sure your clients are so happy because of that. Because if it was easy for me, I'm pretty sure it was easy for them, because that is a beautiful feeling.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you. I definitely appreciate the feedback. It's really what I'm looking for, is to have flow and have them learn as naturally. I don't like this term because it's overused in the language learning industry, but at least as it feels natural, doesn't feel like it's difficult or like there's friction. That's the whole point of my coaching. So yay,
Yes, you have
that's what
got
I'm
it.
after.
So now that COVID is here, and I don't see it going anywhere here in the States, because people are just
Yeah.
ignoring the guidelines and having parties and all kinds of things. How has your business been affected by the pandemic?
Hardly at all. It's the beautiful thing of having an online business. I was interviewed, oh my God, that has to be almost a year ago now, or at least a good 8 months ago, because the pandemic is being really long,
Mm-hmm.
about this topic, because I just so happened to have a personal situation where I myself was just me, not the rest of the world. Like now, I was in a situation where I couldn't go to work or have a job in 2016. And that was actually what triggered the start of my business, where I figured, okay, I have to stay home. It's not really safe for me to go outside. And I have to make an income somehow. And luckily, I had found out that it was possible to teach online. That was thanks to Italki, which was working really well at the time. Now it doesn't work as well as it did back then. And that was the reason why I started my business in the first place. Now I can easily go out because my issues with that are solved. But it's really interesting to see that now everyone is in that situation. It's like I have a 4 years head start.
So this is so is and I love the fact that you can say that, like, your business, because you set yourself up, and this is the consultant side of me coming out. You I tell my clients all the time, set yourself up for hypothetical situations.
Mm-hmm.
You have to think a little bit outside of the box
I
to
didn't do it on purpose.
I mean,
I
yeah,
just got lucky.
yeah, and it's like, but the thing is, some people were not easily adaptable to on having an online presence or interacting with
Mm-hmm.
people online. And a lot of businesses ended up closing, like restaurants. They didn't have
Yeah.
online ordering options and things like that. So adopting these methods and these tools what should have been always on anybody's list, because you don't know what the future will hold.
Mm-hmm.
You see, this is where, like for your business, you being 4 years early, it was just written for you to. That was what your journey was supposed to be. It was,
Yeah.
you know.
I feel very blessed now. It was very, very difficult to start. Like I went through a lot of troubles, but
Mhm.
yeah, one thing that I love that I did with my business, which you couldn't do with any other business that's not online, is I did a cross-country move. I used to live in Germany. That's where I founded my business. I was married there, and then I got a divorce. And then I wanted to move back to Austria because Vienna is my favorite city. I
Mhm.
literally put my business in a suitcase and I moved, and nothing changed. And it's, yeah, not many businesses that you can do that with. So yeah.
I tell you, divorce will change your life. I'm telling you. I'm speaking from experience. Divorce will change your life and have you. But the thing is,
For the better, as far as I can tell.
yeah, it's
But
always for the better. Like I am a firm believer for the better, because it's opened pathways that you could not see before. So, I'm not an advocate for telling people go get divorced, your life will change for the better. That's not what I'm saying.
it
Please
depends
don't.
on your situation.
Yes.
It's a case by case thing.
Don't say that I'm out here telling you to go to get divorced and your business will take off. I didn't say that. Don't misread that. Don't.
My business doubled 2 years in a row after I got a divorce. This is not an advertising for divorce, but this is a fact.
Yes. Some things happen for you to have greater. That's what we're trying to say.
Yes.
So where can potential students find you?
You can find me over at frenchfluency.net. I have a YouTube channel. So if you type Angel Pretot, that's with a T at the end, the French coach, you will find me on YouTube. I guess you probably have some podcast notes where you will put that down there. I also have a Telegram channel, which is it's not really social media, but it's the place where I'm the most active. So you can sign up for my Telegram channel and you'll get my messages directly on your phone.
Wait a minute. What is Telegram? Hold on. That's something new for me. Telegram. You said Telegram?
Telegram, yes.
Okay.
It's an app. It's becoming popular lately because people are leaving WhatsApp because of the change in terms and conditions of WhatsApp. But I actually had Telegram before it happened. I didn't know that would happen, and it was a bit of a gamble for me to get Telegram, because a French coach, a coach who is French, not a French learning coach, a coach who is French, a French guy, discovered the platform and started promoting it and explaining to the people who learn from him that it's a great platform for quote unquote promotion. And what I love about the platform is that it's really easy. It's just like an instant messaging app. You can send voice messages, you can send links, you can send files, you can send basically everything through it. And it's just like the direct line to my students. It's so easy. There's no algorithm. If someone subscribes to you, they'll just keep getting your messages. They can just mute you, but they will get either silent notifications or they'll see in their Telegram app. As long as they're using the app, they'll see that there's your stuff. So it's not like you're going to build a presence on Instagram and then algorithm change and nobody will see your stuff anymore, which we know it keeps happening with Facebook, and with YouTube, it's not much better. It is a lot better, but it's not great either. Like all the social stuff just with algorithm just fluctuates, but Telegram is, and I love the environment for learning. I'm very big on coaching people, even if it's a one-way channel when there are lots of people listening to me. For example, I share with them the things that I watch in French because I'm also a big believer of learning with real document, like real stuff, the stuff that's made for French people by French people. So I share them directly with them, and then I give them context in voice message. And it's so easy. For me, it's not that easy to make social media with like the right shape and just like make YouTube videos that will get lots of views. It's like I'm not like a social media expert or whatnot. I'm working to learn it, but it's not my job. And I just love how simple Telegram is. So simple.
I like that. I'm going to have to definitely create a platform, because I get a lot of questions about public relations and what strategy they should do in their business or which way they should go. So a lot of times it's repetitive. And that's why I launched the podcast and stuff, so that I could leave those things so people can listen on demand. But Telegram seems like it would be a great addition to some of the things that I do come across. So thank you for that.
It's a great place for podcasts too. You can actually upload your podcast directly on Telegram and people can listen to it directly on the app.
Okay.
I know several people who do that. It works for them. The challenge with Telegram is a bit the same as everywhere is reach, because it will not promote you. But
Okay.
honestly, social media won't promote you much either.
Right. You have
So
to do it yourself.
people have to come from somewhere else. So what I did is that I added Telegram to my opt-in. So on my website, there is a French fluency starter kit, which is the core of my method, which is there. And there's like a meditation to learn French, meditation track that I made, which helps you learn French. And then you get access to my Telegram channel and also my weekly Facebook Live, where you can come and post my questions. So I made like this little bundle of freebies, basically. And then people who go through my website and opt in automatically get invited, and they get the link to join Telegram. And it grows, little by little like that. I'm very big on making a living with a very small audience. My big challenge for this year is growing my audience. That's going to be like my number one focus, because it's been 5 years that I've been making a living of an extremely small audience. And now it's time to get over that.
Yes.
So, and make my expertise also available to more people for cheaper, because so far, I mean, one-on-one coaching is very expensive, obviously, because it's my time. But yeah, it's my thing for this year.
I'm excited about that, and I'm here to help you grow your audience, because this is something that I think will enhance. It's an enhancement of your life, and it will make it a lot richer with learning to speak a different language, so that when you do travel, because that's on my list, my bucket list goals, is to go. And because I definitely have to go to Craig Carlson's restaurant, and there's so many different things that I want to travel to France. And there's Quebec, that they speak French too, but it's a different dialect of French. But that's listen, the semantics. Learning a different language is something to enrich your life. So what would
Absolutely.
so what would you want to leave the audience with today that will help them to be inspired and to keep going?
Mindset is everything. If you think you can't, it's probably true. I see too many people knowing that superficially, and I'm probably talking to myself right now as well. You teach the thing that you most need to learn. It's very important to know that you can do it, and sometimes it's challenging, and you have to confront your own mental blocks, and you have to confront like the worst, deepest, most buried things in you before you can do it. But I promise you that you can. I've overcome lots of stuff to make it there. I'm sure I still have lots to overcome, unfortunately, because it never ends. So I don't know if that's good news or if that makes you feel inspired. But I promise you, you can do it. You absolutely can do it.
Well, there it is. So mindset is everything, guys. Thank you so much for speaking to me today. I will have all of his social media website, everything in the comments below. I'm in the description. So follow, take a class. Put it on your list. He gives you freebies every week on Facebook Live. So listen, interact somewhere, add it to your life. Thank you so much again for talking to me today. I know it's nighttime where you are.
Yes.
It's midday here.
It's nighttime. You can see it.
Yes. I was like, wow, yeah, because it's like 1:30 here in the afternoon. So I like this. The pandemic has been a great thing, because I'm connecting with people that I never would have had a chance to talk to. So thank you so much for speaking to me. I look forward to talking to you again.
Thank you for having me. It was amazing. I'll be back whenever you want. It was an awesome conversation. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. You have a great evening.
Thank you. Have a great afternoon, actually.
Thank you.
Bye.